Good afternoon, my fellow educators and teachers. My name is Maria Tran. I know that each and every person here in this room today loves their students and just wants to see them reach their full potential within mathematics. But have you ever taken the time to wonder why assessment within mathematics is so important? According to RAISE 2012, there are 3 different forms of assessment. Diagnostic, which is your standardized testing. An example of this would be the NAPLAN. Formative assessment, which is assessment for learning, helps students to learn more and allows teachers to identify struggles and learning gaps. Summative assessment, or assessment of learning, is generally performed at the end of the year and provides evidence of student achievement and for the purpose of reporting and accountability. One type of formative assessment within mathematics is interviewing. It's one-on-one, allowing the teacher to provide their undivided attention as the child provides their responses. Students who have weaker writing skills have a different platform to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding. Finally, the interviewing strategy provides teachers with a more refreshing way to assess students rather than the standard marking of papers. So this is a really good way to interview students and really get to know them at the same time. So it's time consuming to administer to each and every single student. And second is that it favours fast thinkers that can think on their feet compared to those students who may need some more time. Factors contributing to its use is that it's flexible. You can either do it one-on-one or as a group. It's practical and it can be applied from learner to learner. An example of utilising an interview for the Year 4 number and algebra strand is by having a look at content descriptor ACMNA071, asking the child if the number is odd or even. And how do they know that? You can ask them to explain verbally or by using materials such as counters, tiles to demonstrate their understanding. There are a few record-keeping strategies that we can use for interviewing. This includes anecdotal notes, voice or video recording, or checklists. And in order to differentiate the interview to cater to all different types of students, you may extend the time for shy students so that they have more time to open up. You may need to reword or rephrase your questions, especially for ESL learners, as they might not understand as easily. And you may need to have various activities or methods of demonstrating the student's thought process, as no 2 students are the same and some may find different activities more engaging than others. Paper and pencil tests can either be formative or summative forms of assessment. The benefits are that it's quick and easy to administer, tests a large number of students at the same time, often used to determine grades for student report cards, because you are testing each student under the same strict testing conditions, and you can test a wide area of the syllabus at the same time. There are some limitations to this. They are not differentiated in the way that it assumes that all students have the same learning experiences and background information. Generally, answers count as either right or wrong, and it does not allow room for showing how a student has arrived at their answer. To make a pencil and paper test more effective, teachers could not only give marks for the correct answer, but also for showing students' working out by providing lines for students to demonstrate their working out process, especially when solving problems, so that the effectiveness of this assessment strategies is further heightened. According to Johnson 2009, teachers can differentiate paper and pencil tests by using distractors, misleading answers, and trick questions, as they all help determine which students really understand the concept. A form of summative assessment includes portfolios, and this is a purposeful collection of work whereby the items chosen to be included demonstrate the student's efforts and level of accomplishment and progression over a period of time. The student has input into which pieces are going into the portfolio, which makes them personally involved in their learning and makes them take responsibility for their own learning. It can also be used as a form of self-assessment, as students may go back and look at their progression, their strengths and weaknesses over a period of time. It also helps students to set academic goals by seeing which areas they need to improve on. It takes time and effort to put together a portfolio for each individual student in the classroom. And finally, the evaluation of a portfolio is subjective when compared to more traditional methods of testing such as pencil and paper test. It can be applied from learner to learner, and it is a cumulative form of assessment as you are building a bigger picture as you go. An example of utilising a portfolio is by having a look at the Year 3 number and algebra strand. With content descriptor ACMNA052, you may use photo evidence accompanied with a written reflection by the student for this content descriptor. For ACMNA053, you may be able to use worksheets which can be included in the portfolio, And for ACMNA054, you may be using a written component such as a letter to a peer demonstrating their knowledge of the difference between addition and subtraction. The portfolio in itself is a form of assessment as well as a form of record keeping. It can be graded using a checklist, a rubric, or a rating scale. As for reporting, this portfolio may be shown to parents, teachers, the school, or other stakeholders. By incorporating various assessment strategies as the ones I have mentioned today, you'll be able to build a big picture of individual students' strengths and weaknesses so that your future teaching is informed and will directly impact your students' teaching and learning experience. Thank you.